Unspoken continues. Here again is Vic Henderson.
Welcome back to Unspoken, Things We Don't Say. Bringing in the unique views of the relationship between blacks and Latinos are journalist Esther Cepeda, a columnist for the Chicago Sun-Times. She's also a Huffington Post blogger. And Charles Butler, who's been a political insider in the Republican Party for over 25 years and hosts The Other Side with Charles Butler on WVON Radio. Esther, Charles, welcome.
Thank you.
Esther, let me start off with you. In the same way that Catholic priests were responsible for cleaning up their own house when, the issue of pedophilia popped up, and in the same way that black Americans are held to be responsible for trying to, root out crime in their own communities, shouldn't America hold Latinos responsible for the issue of illegal immigration?
No, I just can't imagine, I can't even imagine such a situation. We're talking about families who are trying to sustain themselves. They have economic incentives that are here in this country, jobs that are available for them to come and do, and they're trying to come over here and reunite with family. That family is not going to throw them to the immigration's wolves because there's obviously the economic incentives for them to come here illegally to work.
Charles, let me ask you, the Republican Party is all about helping people.
Let's not talk about the Republican Party.
But what about letting people into the country, giving people a chance to do like Esther was saying, to get a job?
I don't think they should be here, first of all. But secondly, you have to remember that a Republican president in -- created, signed a bill for amnesty for Hispanics.
What about the concept of allowing people to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and not putting a stop sign at the door?
I think a stop sign should be at the door, because the people who are coming here, they come here for a job. Nobody talks about the $30 billion in remittances that go back to Mexico that these people send out of our economy.
Should there be a stop sign at the door for black people, for Haitians, for Canadians?
There is a stop sign at the door for Haitians.
For Canadians?
Well, Canadians, no, but there's certainly a stop sign for Haitians. Haitians who land on the beach in Miami are sent back. We all know that. Now, when you talk about the Canadians go back and forth across the border. The problem that we have with Hispanics are several. We talk about bilingual education. Just had a discussion with your makeup person. She couldn't get health service at the county hospital because she's an American. If she was Hispanic, it said right on the form, she said that they don't ask you for anything. She had to produce all her paperwork, birth certificate, social security number. We are paying for Mexico's poor people, as a former minister of Mexico said, that the white Mexicans, the ruling class, are sending their poor to America, and that's what they are. They're poor, uneducated, unskilled.
And it's not the corporations that are paying these people to come in and work at under minimum wage prices to come here and make a profit for them that are bringing them here?
In fact, the Pew Hispanic Center has said a number of times that these people, while they depress wages somewhat, it's more race than wages. So, like in the meat packing plants, when they started hiring Americans, they didn't pay them that much more money. So, but they have this power over these people because they're illegal. So I can't. The bottom line is they're here in our country against our laws. They need to go home, and they need to go home now.
Those are the same arguments that they used against black people at some point in time.
That's not true.
Do you think there's a difference?
Of course there's a difference between Latinos and the black community.
Do you think that there's something to be said that the Democrats are trying to pander to the Latino community?
Of course they are. I mean, why? I'm looking at the bill. Eric Holder was on television talking about the bill. Hadn't read the bill. Folks, this is the bill. I've read it a number of times.
So what does it say to you?
What it says is, it's the same thing that it says to any citizen in this country. You have to have a driver's license, you have to have a state ID, or you have to have some government papers, immigration papers, saying that you are legally in the country. When I went to France last month, same thing. I had to have my passport on me at all times. That's not an option when you go to other countries. I've gone to other countries. You have to have your paperwork.
What is it about the Democratic Party that Latinos seem to like, and from a numerical standpoint, at least they're not supporting Republicans? What's going on in the culture that the rest of us may not see?
There's just been an affinity with the, I guess, more liberal, ideals that the Democratic Party exemplifies. But I don't think that that's ever been a lock. I mean, George Bush had much Latino support. I think they've always kind of been. I don't think the population is old enough and been here long enough to be able to claim that the Latinos go for one party or the other. And I think that's why they were so richly courted in the last presidential election and will be again.
Charles?
Well, speaking from experience on the national level, we know that La Raza had a strategy, and their strategy to deliver 50% to Democrats, 50% to Republicans. They don't care who's in office come January 22nd. They're saying, where is mine? That's what they did in the Bush administration. That's what they did in the Obama administration.
Let me ask both of you about an issue that hits both communities probably equally, racial profiling. Mm-hmm. Do you think racial profiling is wrong in the Latino community, Esther?
I think racial profiling is wrong under any circumstances.
What about you, Charles? Do you think racial profiling is wrong?
I don't know any other way to police, first of all.
So is it right or is it wrong? I mean, let us be clear about where you're coming from.
I think it's necessary. That's what I'm saying. When you're a police officer, you have to profile suspects. You profile people. As a young man driving a Porsche, I was a naval officer driving a Porsche, I was constantly stopped by policemen who thought I was a drug dealer or I stole a car.
So at the end
was
of the
it
day,
right or wrong? That's just the way it was because that's what young black folks were doing who weren't like me.
And it doesn't trouble you?
And of course it troubled me, but I understand that's America.
Esther, let me challenge you some on the issue of racial profiling. Let's say, for example, there are 100 Latinos and maybe 80 of them are here legally and 20 are not, or 90 of them are here illegally and 10 are not. Why shouldn't we expect those 90 or those 80 to tell the other 10, look, you guys need to go back. You didn't follow the rules. We came here properly. We dotted I's, we crossed T's, and you guys didn't. Just go back and wait your turn. Why shouldn't we expect that? Because
there's no turn to wait for. I mean, our immigration laws don't work that way, and you're not going to turn your family away when they're going to starve back home or be paid by a corporation here with U.S. dollars to work.
Charles, hold on a second. What about that? The United States, when it wants to, it finds money. We send money to Israel. We send money to Afghanistan. We send money to a whole host of countries.
We send money to Mexico.
But why not send more money to Mexico such that, the problem that Esther's talking about, people are really coming over here for jobs. Why not send more money to Mexico to help support that economy so you don't have the immigration problem?
I think when we look at the numbers, we send a lot of money to Mexico. Bottom line is when you travel outside the United States, you travel outside of Europe, people are poor, period.
But why not send more is the issue?
We've sent I think we're sending enough. I think we're sending too much. I think our taxes are too high as it is. However, let's not focus on just Mexico. But I think that people coming here illegally, they're breaking the law. My Hispanic friends, like Ruben Navarrete, who's a national syndicated journalist or columnist, he feels the same way that I do, which is that people should come through the door the right way. People say, well, what's the right way? Well, we have laws, and we shouldn't change those laws to accommodate like Spanish only or Spanish bilingual education. Waste a lot of money on that.
So let me ask you this. In the Latino community, is there a sense that the black community is supportive of, opposes, or is indifferent to the immigration laws that Latinos would like to see passed?
I think a couple of years ago you would have seen that there may have been a sense of indifference, but because of the economy squeezing jobs and there being this idea that illegal immigrants who are paid less money are taking jobs that perhaps others, of any race or any color would take, then that creates a tension. And now I think, in general, Latinos are just feeling like there's negative feelings toward them by everybody.
Charles, in the 15 to 20 seconds left, let me ask you, do you think that Latinos are coming over and taking jobs away from black people? Do you think that?
They always impact the people at the bottom of the social economic. They're taking jobs and opportunities away from Hispanic Americans also. But the bottom line here is, I don't remember Tom Flores, Chichi Rodriguez, or Lee Trevino ever being kept out of a golf course because of their color. We don't have the same issues.
Yeah.